This is a Sputnik Modular Model 244 CV Toolbox. I guess Sputnik are more known for their Eurorack modules, but this is in the Buchla 200 format. It's designed by Roman Filipov, and he also built this particular specimen. It's a great sort of Swiss Army knife of a module, but it also has a couple of design flaws. I'll be selling this, so I thought I'd go over both the good and the bad. There are 6 independent sections: a sequential switch, a pulse divider, a set of manual triggers, an analog shift register, 2 VCAs for control voltages, and finally 4 quantizers. The sequential switch allows you to switch between 2, 3 or 4 inputs in various directions. It's a great companion for something like a 245, 246 or 281. It works pretty much as expected, but when you first power it up, no mode of direction is set, even though the up LED is lit. So you need to toggle to the mode you want, even if it's the up mode. The pulse divider is very useful. In this patch, I pulse it with the 245. I use the 4th division to step the sequential switch between 2 of the 245's channels. And by setting the 245's sequence length to 3, I get a sequence that repeats itself every 24 pulses, even though there's only 2 3-note sequences. The sequence is fed to the analog shift register, which is basically 3 sample on holds in series. Whenever a trigger is received, the sampled CVs will be shifted 1 step to the right. You can create some really cool canon-like effects with it. Here I'm just starting out with a 245 played back by a single 259 via output A of the shift register. I'll now unmute half of a 258 controlled by output B. And now I'll add output C, playing back a second channel on the 258. I'll now change the sequence length on the 245 from 3 to 4. And back again. Back to 4. And back to 3. And now for 5. I really love how this setup allows you to do a lot with very little. In the clip we just watched, the manual trigger was used to start and stop the sequence. So it's a very simple function. If you flick a switch, it creates a pulse as its output, that's all. Unfortunately, the pulse is pretty dirty, so it won't pulse everything reliably. It does work fine with my 281R, 281E, 250E and 266R. But if I use it to advance the 245, it jumps around a bit. And, ironically, it's really unpredictable with the 244's own trigger inputs. The ever-amazing Dave Brown has designed an easy mod for this, but I haven't got around to it because honestly I really don't see many use cases for these switches anyway. So, that was design flaw number 1. Flaw number 2 would be the shift register. Unfortunately, the voltage drops and droops, so it's not suitable for slow changes. Well, at least not if you want things to stay in tune. And it can also mess with the scaling. Dave Brown has a radical solution for this, to simply replace the entire shift register circuitry with a new one on an extra PCB. However, I find it to work fine with a bit faster sequences, like the one in the previous clip. But maybe that's just my ears being perverted by the general scaling issues of any buckler system. Now for the dual CV VCAs. This is something I don't think Tom ever built. You can achieve something close to CV VCA with a 257 or a 256E, but they're mixing the CVs, so they're not proper VCAs. In this clip, I'll be using a slow cycling 281 channel to fade a faster one in and out that modulates the wave shape of a 258, basically at audio rate. Another cool use case is to use something like a 216s or a 218s pressure output to do the same. The final section is the quad quantizer. Now I cheated a bit in the first clip. Since it's tricky to hone in exact pitches on a 245, I quantized the sequence before I fed it into the shift register. It would have been nice to be able to use the 244 for that. But its quantizers aren't too precise, and they're also very slow, and therefore there's an apparent slew. It's still useful within its limitations, like here where I create a stepped CV from an envelope from a 281. So there you have it, the 244, flawed but fun, like so many things Buchla.